Welcome to Spam Filter for Your Brain, bite-sized ponderings on how our thoughts influence our behaviour and our lives, and because we're all connected, how our thoughts impact the world. I'm here to help people reconnect with their bodies and declutter their brains. And I don't believe that we should just magically know how our emotions and our thoughts impact our lives if no one ever teaches us. So let's learn this stuff together. You should just trust yourself. Just trust yourself, everyone says. Like you weren't already trying to do that. The problem is that just trust yourself doesn't mean anything when no one ever taught you how. And in fact, most of us were actually socialized to do completely the opposite. We were mostly taught that we should not trust ourselves and that we should defer to everybody else because they're more important, more knowledgeable, more skillful, probably have more authority than we do. And probably the last thing that we should actually do is to trust ourselves. And this comes through in so much messaging from us, from a lot of the schooling that many of us received, from religion to politicians to the patriarchy. There are so many messages coming in that bombard us the whole time that we, silly little people, cannot be trusted. And actually, we should defer our decision making or our authority to somebody else. And although lots of us know that this stuff is going on, sometimes when it comes to our own self-opinion or decisions about ourselves or things that involve us personally, we can think of this as some internalized flaw that we personally have developed. And so our feedback cannot be trusted about ourselves. And so we seek it elsewhere. And we can see that both that systemically should not be happening, but also for us, we are individually flawed enough that this really is how we should behave. And this week, I just wanted to call out where some of this stuff can seep into our skin so much that we don't even notice that we're doing it. And actually, to just be able to spot what's going on for us helps us be able to create some kind of pause and disruption to go, is that actually what I want to be doing? Learning to hear what your own voice is underneath all of the noise of this taught deferment is a skill that we can learn and practice. And I think that the first step in this skill is just pausing to notice when you catch yourself thinking, oh, I should go and seek some kind of validation from other people. Their feedback is more important than what I think for myself. Just noticing when you want to call a friend and ask their opinion on something, or you want to ask someone else what they would do, or when you have something in front of you and there's some decisions ahead and your instinct response is, I don't know, just take a beat, take a breath and go, what if this was up to me? What if there were no wrong decisions here? What if there was no punishment, retribution, or bad outcomes for making the wrong decision? What would I do then? What feels like the thing that is the obvious answer if there were no consequences? And that doesn't mean that you necessarily have to do that thing. But when you take away that strip of a threat, of the danger element on the horizon, of if it all goes wrong, you can actually then immediately hone into what it is that you would do if there was no fallout. And when you can tune into those things that you think that you would do, what you've also identified is what you want. And we don't always have to do the thing just because we want it, but it is really important for us to notice those things that we want, because then we can make active choices about them. And this isn't just another podcast telling you to trust yourself, but actually, I really want you to spend a moment this week noticing that when you go and ask someone else, when you defer that responsibility, when you outsource your own autonomy, you're actually eroding your self-trust. You are undermining the idea that you might know what is best for you. And we have so much messaging of that going on around us the whole time. We could really do with being on our own side. Reclaiming our inner authority is a massive act of rebellion. And building this structural trust within ourselves will be able to help us set boundaries in the future that stop other people driving us off course or finding ourselves somewhere where we end up being like, how did I not see that coming? How could they have done that thing to me? How could I have let it get that far? Which is something that I hear in so many work situations, sometimes in relationship situations, often with money. You don't get carried up in everyone else's ideas as to what your life should be like and what is best for you when you have a solid core, knowing how to connect with what you actually want and then being able to make decisions from there. So this week, I'm trying to encourage you to trust yourself. And if you don't agree with a single thing I've said, that is brilliant. Well done, you. You are completely allowed to, and I applaud it. I look forward to speaking to you next week. If you've been enjoying what you're hearing on the podcast, you will love Self-Care School. Self-Care School is longer versions of this, more in-depth and more personalised. We have a whole hub of courses from body image to boundaries, perfectionism, time management, and a whole range of other topics. You name it, there's probably a course on it. But most importantly, we also have a weekly group coaching call where you get to apply this stuff to your everyday life and get support to try and untangle your own story from some of the emotions that you might not be enjoying in your life. If you would like to learn how to apply this work to your specific situation and to be building a life of your dreams, I would love to see you inside. Do pop over to selfcareschool.co.uk.